tassel management. I had a job that we had 2 tassels. So stay in school. So anyway, you can. This hat is called a mortarboard because evidently during medieval times when they're building cathedrals, if you were an apprentice mason, you didn't get your own until you graduate. So they would go, here's your mortarboard, and then you put mortar on here. I don't know why it's on your head. I think it was because they were like, okay, you graduated, get over yourself. And they just hear something to make you look stupid, and then that's why we do it today. You can get these, I got this online, you can get 240 of them for $65. So if I had had room in my carry-on, every one of you would be wearing a hat like this. But I didn't. I order a lot. I order stuff online I already have, but I don't know where it is. I know I have an HDMI 2 cable somewhere, but if I push this button, it'll be on my porch tomorrow. Anyway, when I was a kid, you could only get like 3 things delivered to your house. 4. You could get a newspaper, your mail, milk, and potato chips.
Diapers.
Yeah, we had a potato chip guy in Mansfield, Ohio. Anybody from Ohio? Tell him I'm not lying.
No.
I'm not Charles Chips. That's right. And he had a 5-gallon can of chips, and then you would put your empty can on the porch, and the next week the chips guy would give you 5 more gallons of potato chips. So it's really good I left in the 70s because everyone in my neighborhood is dead of heart disease. Anyway, so this is your commencement speech, and I'll have to work on the gesturing because I'm used to using both hands. But if I do that, I will have to drop the mic. So bear with me. As I look out over the faces of you wide-eyed graduates coming down from Ritalin and Adderall, bubbling with enthusiasm and crippling student debt, I'm reminded of lemurs on an island in the Indian Ocean that is soon to be overwhelmed by rising seawater. Preparing for this occasion, I listened to a lot of commencement speeches, and most of them said the thing you're going to have to do in life is face your fears. And since this is my first commencement address, I'm going to say that too. So, you should face your fears, because they are but illusions put in your mind by insecurity and doubt. Much like that one Doctor Who, where the alien went into your brain and found your fears and presented them to you as different kinds of cheesy robots. And this is a good crowd to ask, why has no one ever thought to give a lozenge to a Dalek? One moment it might be exterminate, exterminate, and then you would just let me try that again. Right in his little suction cup mouth, and then it would be, oh, thank you. I don't feel the need to exterminate anymore. I don't know. I'm just trying to solve some problems up here for you. Although if you gave a lozenge to Tom Waits, his career would be over. So don't be afraid. Just face and overcome your fears. Probably the worst thing that has happened is you'll be embarrassed. And embarrassment is a tiny hardship. When really horrible stuff happens, embarrassment will be the least of your worries. So don't be afraid. Never get into your fear. Act like I didn't say that. Don't be afraid. Never give in to your fears, unless it's fire. Probably pretty healthy to have a fear of fire. So don't spiders. Side note, fire and spider. If you have a spider in the corner in the web that looks really dangerous and poisonous, and you can't get to him with a magazine or something, because really who has magazines anymore? Don't take a can of WD-40 or hairspray and light it on fire and spray him. That is an expensive lesson. So, fire and spiders, maybe snakes. Don't be afraid of snakes. Here's how you deal with your fear of snakes. When you think about it, everywhere a snake goes, he or she is dragging his or her junk across the ground. Everywhere. That can't be comfortable. And that's how you can deal with your fear of snakes. It's how I deal with my fear of public speaking. So you should face your fears head on, and don't let them stop you. I don't really have this part down. It's much better with both hands, except you can't hear me. Fears, yeah. Sharks. Sharks are a legitimate fear, really. But it's not completely irrational, especially if you're in salt water. Fear of sharks anywhere but in the ocean is largely a waste of time, much like setting goals. So, life is an adventure, and what makes it an adventure? Not sick, it's not sick, it's just allergies.
Yeah.
Cocaine. Mounds and mounds of cocaine, man. Life is an adventure, and what makes it an adventure is discovery of the unknown. So like your education, I'm going to try to not prepare you for much so I don't fuck up your adventure. Someone, probably my friend Darren, once said that college this is your college commencement. College does not teach you anything except for how to learn. Although if you wanted to be your traffic school commencement, it can be that. Your education prepares you only for more education because you don't know shit. And I am no different than you. That said, here are 14 things that I know. 1, if you live to be old, your regrets will be for those things you didn't do, not the things you tried and failed. You have to try your wings before you know you can fly. Otherwise, you'll never know. Unlike penguins. When penguins see birds that can fly, they feel like losers, in spite of how nicely they are dressed. So do not pay that much attention to the dress code. And see, all you guys are already on top of that. Number 2, the only point of being an adult is being able to eat cake for breakfast. And you don't even have to pretend it's a muffin. You can just get a big honking slice of chocolate cake and eat it at the table. It's much better if there are children at the table when you do that. Because they'll go, why? And you go, because I'm an adult. It motivates them to grow up. Number 3, if you talk long enough, you're going to say something stupid. So even if people let you talk, shut up. Number 4, most people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan. I believe we've all heard that in an insurance commercial. That said, be impulsive, get lost, take off without a plan, smell the flowers, watch a sunrise, sell some oregano to kids as weed. Number 5, your coach lied to you. The reason you didn't start in a sport is not because you didn't work hard enough in practice. It's because you suck at sports. But the good thing is that now that you've graduated, that will never matter again. Coaches, like most other people, are liars, just dumber. I told that joke in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It did not go over well. They got football and cheese.
That's all they got, man.
That's it. You talk smack about coaches that are like, it's April and it just snowed 3 feet. You got it.
We have beer too.
I think the legitimacy from her accent goes. So they have beer. Anyway.
Yeah, but they have to record from Milwaukee.
I've never had a coach who didn't at some point say that he wanted everyone to give 110%. I think I made my point. Number 9. The suspense is killing.
No!
Spelling doesn't count. I have some experience in this field. Spelling does not count. Number 6, counting most of the time doesn't count, unless people around you are being really bitchy about it. Or they're from Wisconsin. Number 8, the steam from the grates was not the Ninja Turtles cooking. Everyone knows they only eat delivery pizza. Number 10, religion is mostly bullshit. But it can give you comfort when things go to shit. So find a religion and stick with it until it embarrasses you to admit you're part of it. If you get good at your religion, you can bring other people into it and become a bodhisattva, as we Buddhists say. If you meet people in your religion to date, you can become a bodhisattva. I know that's a horrible joke, and yet I am unable to stop telling it. I may have stolen it off of one of you guys on Twitter. I don't care. Modify your faith to your needs. Your religion is as lenient as you let it be. I think we've proven that with all the evangelical leaders supporting a pathological liar and serial adulterer. Number 11. In the dining room with the candlestick or in the parlor with a rope are not part of a porn menu.
You sure?
And now the only useful thing you'll get today, number 12, the little mark between the chapters in a book or the scenes in a book in the middle of the page is called a dinkus. Really. Number 13, gluten is bullshit. You can buy bags of gluten at Whole Foods. What I like to do is fill up my entire basket with bags of gluten. And as everyone else is doing what they do because their life is obviously much more important than mine in Whole Foods because I have never found a need to ask questions about my vegetables. I like to put a bag of gluten in every single bag. That way when they get up to the checkout line, they will hold it up and go, "This gluten is bullshit." And we're all on the same page. Number 14, a true friend can and should tell you if you have a booger hanging out your nose. Bat in the cave left, bat in the cave right is the correct way to tell them that. Or if you're English, crusty dragon left, crusty dragon right. When a true friend then looks away and lets them fix it, you don't like focus. So they can look up and go, "How about now?" And you go, "You're good." So, 15. And this one's for you guys. That little tube that a tampon comes in, blowgun. I just want to hear the stories when people went, "Hey, honey, look at this." Number 16. In these times of cultural insensitivity, you will often be tempted to blurt out the phrase, "Your mother's a whore." You should probably avoid that because someone's feelings could be hurt because their mom is probably a whore. Number 17, there's a pretty good chance that you're gay. You probably just don't know it. It's okay. We love you just the way you are, but you're going to have to raise your game now. You're part of a minority. Or if you were a minority before, you're more of a minority now. Of course, if you're already gay, you're probably mistaken and you're actually straight. So check your privilege, bitch. Number 23, people in your life are going to die. You're probably going to be mad about that. You should get some practice with goldfish and turtles. Then work up to cats, dogs, and horses. I know that part's always so sad. Houseplants do not count because they usually don't die on their own. Usually it's something you did. If you plan on being a murderer, then houseplants count. Okay, I have some new material that I've just worked in here. We'll see how it works. Number 28.
Second math, but
Yeah, I know. Counting doesn't count. I know. Do not. You're going to totally fail the test. You can see this.
You can dress her up.
The numerous spelling errors. I know. There's always people that are like, "Man, I can't stay. I got to tell him that's the wrong number." I did an event in Boston one time, and I was signing at a podium. I learned that from Sue Grafton. She had a back problem, so if you stand, then you can look everybody in the eye and you can sign in. But there was a guy who was like really strict, and he goes, "The bookstore closes at 9, so you've got to be out of here and done by then." And there was about this many people, maybe more. And I was like, He does not know he does not make the rule. And so he was trying to, as they do, flap the books and slide them over to me on this little tiny podium. And you can't really do that in that much space, but he was under control, right? And he had to do that. So I dropped my Sharpie, I would say 270 times. And he had to pick it up each time. Because they're like house elves in socks. You know, leprechauns in fixing shoes. And so anyway, you know, correct me anytime I make a math mistake. I'm just fucking with it. Number 28, this is not the economy of your parents, where you will work in one job for 20 to 30 years and retire. You are part of a dynamic economy where you will hold many jobs, work with many people, all of them bent upon stealing your yogurt out of the break room fridge. But soon, all of the work you will do will be more efficiently performed by robots. They will cater to your every need and desire, right up to the time that they turn on you. And you will finish your miserable life hiding in the sewers, eating rats until you die alone, cradling urine-soaked copies of your remaindered novels. That one may be more specific to me. I never know why they're urine-soaked, but they always are.
It's a sewer.
It's
a sewer.
Oh, okay. Number 18. Once, while you're young, you should get hammered and fall asleep face down on a corduroy pillow. Look at yourself first thing in the morning in the mirror. It will prepare you for the future. Number 19. Squirrels are cool. Be nice to them. Sure, that one that ate your Christmas tree light wires, oh well, he may steam your wontons. But their average lifespan is only 12 months, so do not spend a lot of time on squirrel revenge. I will take care of that. Okay. Number 20. In ancient Siam, it was not permitted for anyone's head to be higher than the king's, because the height of one's head was indicative of his status, both socially and spiritually. Don't know why you'll need to know that. So life is a struggle, and life is a struggle, and as you go through life struggling, you will do many things, many frustrating and pointless things. But as you go, try to remember to take time to go to the zoo. Oh, that's a perfect San Diego reference.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Look at the giraffe. Consider the giraffe. Recognize that he, like you, is a badly designed, silly creature. And yet, his butthole is higher than your head. And as you stand before the monkey cage, still at the zoo now, watching their carefree play, you will wonder, would I be better off spending my days swinging gleefully in trees, howling, shagging my roommates, shitting into my hand and flinging it at strangers? And the answer will be yes. I'm just working out the whole gesture thing still. I was doing a speech in Milwaukee one time, and somebody from the university sent over an American Sign Language interpreter. And you guys may have seen this. You remember when I did the thing about Google? You could Google anything and get like 6 million responses, and one of the things I said is, you could Google hamster love and get 6 million responses, right? And so I said hamster love, and everybody in the room turned to the American Sign Language interpreter. And she was like, and if they're mad, they won't do the gesture, they'll just spell that shit out. So the only thing useful I learned out of that was that, and I have to put the mic down, this is bullshit.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, I haven't figured out how to do that while you're driving. That would be good.
If you want to add
bullshit, as
something
you
to it,
guys cut
if
you
you
off.
want to add something to it, Chris, it's like this.
What's that?
Bullshit.
Oh, that's fucking bullshit? What's it?
This is the two bulls.
Oh, man.
2 rabbits.
Fucking...
That's what I was told by you.
Clearly, that was fucking triceratops shit.
Okay, that's even worse.
You gotta be a better accountant than I am, I guess. Okay. Number 21, you are almost certainly going to get VD, although not at the zoo.
Maybe.
There's no way around it because people are basically liars or stupid, but that does not mean you won't sleep with them. In fact, those two things often complement each other, and the only way some of us are going to get laid. I used to think that everyone upon graduating needed a course in Life 101 for things, like how to fill out a job application, how to get the utilities turned on, how to open a bank account. But you don't have to know that anymore. The only thing you really need to know is how to steal Wi-Fi, and if you're on fire, stop, drop, and roll, because you will not have time to Google that shit. Once you learn how to steal Wi-Fi, you can find out nearly everything you know, from fixing the dishwasher to mixing up some methamphetamines to explosives to watching people have sex with various animals. Although, pro tip, if you are interested in that last part, don't do it while you're stealing Wi-Fi on your visit to the zoo. You don't actually have to know anything as long as you don't lose your phone. If you lose your phone, you're a beast. In conclusion, don't applaud. You can applaud. I'm sorry. No, you don't have to. No. I went all Jeb Bush there for a minute. I apologize. Don't shag anyone you don't like or who doesn't like you. Suffering is overrated. Don't pursue it. Ask for help when you need it. Don't when you don't. And learn to recognize the difference. Don't confuse movement and progress. Truth is important. Don't know what that word is, but it's also important. Oh, honesty. Hypocrisy is bad and relevant. Actions have consequences, despite what you've been seeing in politics. Be kind, be forgiving, and pay attention. And graduates of the class of 2018, go forth and make me proud.